You ever wonder why some stories just stick with you? I mean, they get into your head and they just don't leave. Well, it's not magic. Turns out there's a hidden blueprint, this powerful structure inside almost every great story ever told. And today, we're going to crack that code. Okay, let's get right into it.
No, really, think about it for a second. What's the connection between a huge blockbuster sci-fi movie and that funny story your friend told you last week? I mean, on the surface, they seem totally different, right? But underneath it all, they're marching to the same beat. And the answer is actually pretty simple, and it's the key to everything.
Yup, that's it. A formula. Now, don't think of it like some rigid, boring set of rules. It's more like a powerful, flexible blueprint that storytellers have been using, a lot of times without even realizing it, for centuries to build stories that just grab hold of our brains. And we're about to lay that whole blueprint out for you, piece by piece. So let's talk about the actual architecture of a story that works. It's something called the narrative arc. And honestly, understanding this is like being handed a master key. It doesn't just unlock how to tell better stories, but it shows you why they affect us so deeply. Here they are, the big five, the five essential stages that take us on a really satisfying emotional journey. See, this structure works so well because it kind of mirrors how we experience things in real life. It builds up anticipation, it hits a peak, and then it gives us that sense of closure we crave. Trust me, by the end of this, you're going to start seeing this pattern absolutely everywhere. All right, so every story has to start somewhere. The beginning, well, you can think of it as your handshake with the audience. It's that crucial moment where you lay all the groundwork, you make a kind of promise of what's to come, and you invite them into a whole new world. The main job of the introduction is to just get the audience settled in, to give them their bearings before the real adventure begins. You have to establish a baseline, a sense of what's normal, so that when things inevitably start to go sideways, we really feel that shift. So what does that actually look like? A really solid introduction answers three core questions, and it does it fast. Who is the story about? Where and when are we? And what's going on right at the start? You get the characters, the setting, and the status quo out of the way, and boom, you've created the normal world that's about to be turned completely upside down. Okay, let's use a super simple story to see how this works. Check out this sentence. In just a few words, we get everything we need, right? We've got the characters, me and my brother. We've got the setting, a park on a Saturday. And the situation, just a normal, casual trip to the park. The stage is perfectly set. Okay, now we're moving into the middle of the story, and this is where things really start to get interesting. If the beginning set the plate on the table, the middle is where you start piling on the conflict, the momentum, and the rising stakes. This is really the heart of the story. The rising action isn't just a bunch of stuff that happens. It's a carefully built chain of events that just keeps ramping up the tension. Think of it like you're climbing a staircase in the dark. Every single step takes you higher and makes you feel more and more like something is about to happen. It's all about pulling the audience toward that big moment at the top. And what's really important here is that this isn't random. This is where the story's main problem or challenge gets introduced. We get to watch how the characters react, we see what they're thinking, and with every single choice they make, that tension just goes up another notch. It's the engine that drives the whole story forward. Let's get back to our park story. And there it is, the problem. The calm Saturday morning is suddenly interrupted. The ball, our goal, is now somewhere dangerous. Right away, the stakes are higher. Something has to be done. So, all that rising action, all that tension, it's all been building to one thing, the climax. This is the absolute peak of the story, the top of the mountain. It's that one moment of maximum tension where the story's main problem comes to a head. This is the make or break moment. It's the point of no return. Everything in the story has been leading right here. Is the hero going to make it? Will they solve the problem? This is the exact moment the audience has been waiting for, whether they knew it or not. And boom, the problem just escalated into a full-blown crisis. See, it's not just about a ball on the street anymore. Now it's an immediate, high-stakes threat. A decision has to be made right now. Everything just freezes in this one super intense, breathless moment. Whew. Yeah, so after that peak of excitement, the story has to guide us back down the other side of the mountain. A good ending isn't just a sudden stop. It's about making sense of the climax, releasing all that tension, and figuring out what the new normal is for everybody. So first up, you have the resolution. If the climax is the ultimate question, the resolution is the immediate answer. It deals directly with the problem from the climax and shows us what happened right after.
And there's our answer. The immediate danger, the car, is gone. The central problem has been solved. And right here, the audience can finally take a breath. All that tension that was built up is finally released. But just solving the problem isn't quite enough. A story that really sticks with you needs a conclusion. This is like the final bow. It's the part that gives us that feeling of emotional closure and tells us what the whole journey was really all about.
This is where we zoom out and ask, so what? You know, what did the characters actually learn from all this? How did the events of the story change them? The conclusion gives us the big takeaway, the reason the story even mattered in the first place.
And there it is. A simple lesson was learned. The experience had a real impact, and it created a new, slightly wiser normal for the characters. The whole emotional journey is now complete, and the story feels finished.
So now that you can see this blueprint, you can probably tell it's way more than just some formula. It's a tool. You can almost think of it as a storytelling superpower that you can use to build your own stories that are more compelling, more memorable, and that really connect with people. So let's just look at the whole journey one last time. You draw the audience in at the beginning, you build up that tension and anticipation through the middle, you hit them with that unforgettable peak, and then you gently guide them back down to a satisfying ending. It's an incredibly powerful structure, and it's timeless for one simple reason. It speaks directly to how our brains are wired. At the end of the day, this structure isn't a cage that restricts you. It's a foundation. It's a launching pad. You can build any world, any character, any story you can possibly dream up right on top of this framework. So the only real question left is, what story are you going to build?